I can bleed no more trust out of this guy. I have 110% trust that everything that he says is aligned to the lifestyle that he has chosen and the disciplines that he has chosen. There's no bullshit here with my mentor. He has allowed me in to see that he's more than just a mouthpiece. He's a man who models the advice that he gives me. I've built many startups. Most of them have failed. So Bitcoin is exactly the place that I like to be. We're going to end it right there. Well, I've talked about it before, and finally, I'm going to be getting into it. Let's talk about why you should get a mentor. Why you should get a mentor. Well, it's easy for me to talk about this because yesterday I had the awesome opportunity to meet up with my mentor. He flew in from Colorado to hang out with me and just talk shop. Now, obviously, he has other reasons for being in the Atlanta area, mainly work, but it gave him an awesome opportunity to connect with me and me to connect with him and just catch up. It was awesome. I loved hanging out with him. He's just such a man who's full of life, full of experience, full of empathy. It's crucial. Full of empathy, full of sympathy. And man, I tell you, he's just the best. So let me give you a little bit of context around why this mentor means so much to me and why this has been something that is, in so many ways, has improved my life. Long story short, this is a mentor who actually kind of pursued me, if I can say it this way. I was a successful consultant, built my own consultancy here in Atlanta, up to 19 employees, and I was crushing it. But one of the problems that I found, and this is certainly something that I wasn't new to, but as I begin new projects and as they become successful, one of the things is that as they scale, especially in the consultancy, I ended up doing less and less and less of what I really enjoyed doing, which was being with clients, being with individuals, being with teams, being with executives and leaders, and actually helping them improve their software development and as well as improve their organizational efficiency. And so as we scaled, one of the biggest problems was I was doing more HR, human resources, more sales, more putting out fires, more administrivia, healthcare, benefits, payroll. I was doing all of this. And what eventually emerged was that I rarely spent time on client sites. Most of the time I ended up just putting out fires or flying out last minute to calm a client or to make sure that everything was going well. And everything that I loved about being a consultant, an agile consultant, software development consultant, everything that I loved about building this business became the bane of my existence. I hated it. It was terrible. And so during this time, this mentor of mine had helped me in great ways, big ways of helping me set up my consultancy, grow my marketing, give me his experience, his knowledge as to how to grow a consultancy, and eventually, long story short, eventually acquired me. There was obviously strategic reasons because he was out in the Midwest. They already had a West Coast contingency and they needed an East Coast contingency. And me with all of my network and client network here, it was just a good strategic move. But in many ways, he had saved my life. He said, Peter, we'll take on all the administration, we'll take on all the administrivia, we'll take all the human resources aspects, the sales aspects, and you just get to go out and do your best work. And so this was my second acquisition of my life, and it was great. It came under his umbrella, came under his processes, came under his company, and I ended up I was fourth in their company. I ended up helping scale them out to over 10 people over a 2-year period of time. But throughout all of this, my mentor and I, we continued to, obviously I was working for him, but more than just working with him and having company meetings and all the company retreats and all company, conferences and all this stuff, My mentor and I continue to meet consistently, and talk about life. And this man, this individual had invested so much of his life into me that there's no way, period, there's no way that I could be where I am today without my mentor. I'll tell you the TLDR as to why you should get one, period. Here it is. Listen closely. The number one reason why you should get a mentor is it is the fastest way, period, fastest way to accelerate your growth in anything, whether it be life, whether it be work, whether it be just health. A mentor will help accelerate your growth in any of those areas. Now, my mentor really, for me, was the top two. It's life and work. Always asking me great questions about how life is going. And my mentor cares more about the work that I do. My mentor cares more about who I am and the man that I'm becoming, the man that I want to be. You see, having a mentor like this who is in your corner in every aspect, they will accelerate your growth. That's the key I want you to remember. They'll accelerate your growth in whatever goals, strategies, tactics that you have in life or work or health. They will help you get there faster. And so I've written down a lot of ideas here as to why mentors are so powerful. And I want to go through each of these 5 or 6 or so and really give you a larger and broader perspective as to why having a mentor is so important, especially if you're trying to level up and improve your life. The first thing that I wrote down here is that a mentor provides knowledge and experience. That makes a ton of sense. They have gone before you. When it comes to choosing a mentor, I highly suggest that you choose a mentor who's already been where you want to be. They've already gone through the experience. They've all gone through the trials. They've gone through the tribulations. They've gone through the hurt, and they can accelerate you in your life, in your work, in your effort. Beyond that, they can say, hey, there's some pitfalls here. Hey, there's some traps here. Hey, you're talking about this. Maybe we need to reconsider it. And so what a great mentor does is provides knowledge and experience of how they've done it. Not to push it on you, not to say that you have to do your work or your life the same way that they're doing it. But what great mentors do is they ask you questions about what you're doing and say, hey, does that make sense? Should we rethink it this way? Should we look at it from this particular vantage point? And provide that knowledge and that experience that you will have eventually garnered and gained over time, but they can give it to you now. And so this is really an opportunity whenever you're really sucking in and feeding off of their knowledge and experience. It's an opportunity for you to really gain big time by asking lots of questions, digging into those conversations, and bleeding out what makes sense to you. Number 2, they help us see what we cannot. Oh, man, I'll tell you, this is a huge factor. And obviously, a lot of this stems from knowledge and experience, but this is a really important aspect of what mentors can help you do, is they can help you see what you cannot. They've traveled the road. They've seen the forks. They've made those hard decisions already, and they can help you see what's coming up in your life. At least they have assumptions about what's coming up, but they have a good perspective. They understand, hey, these are the variables. These are things that are going to hit you. And these are the things you need to be aware of, right? And so they can see, in many ways, the future. And I can remember so many, it's true. They can see the future. They can, obviously, many of you guys would say, well, no one can see the future. But man, if you're on a similar trajectory, a similar path that they have already tread, then they have the ability of foresight. They have the ability of seeing the future, because they can see, like, wow, you're taking these types of steps. There's a really good chance that these types of steps and moving this direction is going to either lead to X, Y, or Z. So let's talk about X, Y, or Z, and which one you think would be the most appropriate decision for you to make. This is so powerful. I can tell you 1,000 different stories of how I've come up and broached these subjects with him about, hey, I'm going to be making this decision. I'm thinking about X. I'm thinking about Y. And we end up talking about what he sees as a potential outcome for that. And then we talk about this outcome. Is this the outcome that I want? Is this the results that I want from this particular experiment or this particular decision? And it's so helpful to be able to get your arms around some of the outcomes that you didn't consider. You see, everything that we do has an outcome. And everything that we do has a cost associated with it. And one of the things for me as a naive young entrepreneur, one of the things for me that I often forget and I often neglect is the psychological cost, the life cost to my decisions. And one of the reasons is very simple. It's easy for me to get super and hyper focused in my work, and outcomes are merely what they are. I'm doing, I'm executing, I'm focusing on my goals, I'm continuing to crush forward. Outcomes, I have ideas about what I'd like to be the end result, to be the end goal of these particular decisions. And you know what? I'm the type of guy that generally says, I'll deal with them as they come. A great mentor will ask you, hey, what's the psychological cost? What's the emotional cost? What's the familial cost? You see, I'll tell you this. When I was making ridiculous amounts of money, millions of dollars a year as a consultant, you know who suffered the most? It's my family. I did not count. And we're talking 12 years of being a consultant, building this company to 19 people. I sacrificed my family at the altar of work. That's what I did. And one of the things that my mentor, I can never thank him. And actually, almost every time, and if you ever meet him or if I ever bring him on the show or anything like that, almost every single time that we meet, not almost, every single time that we meet, I thank him for changing my life. And I'll tell you one of the biggest ways that he changed my life. He helped me figure out how I could have a sustainable pace at work and make exceptional money at work, still over $1 million a year, and still have time for my family. I did not realize, and this is so powerful. See, he helped me see what I couldn't, and he helped me see what I couldn't. I thought that I didn't have control over. He showed me that there is a way to make over $1 million a year as a consultant and running a consulting company, and have time for my family. Every time that I meet him, I thank him in some way, shape, or form. Usually just saying, thank you for changing my life and allowing me to be home more, be present with my family, be present with my kids, go eat lunch with them at school, go to their plays, go to their events. This was life-changing. Number 3, when it comes to getting a mentor, dude, massive encouragement. Massive encouragement and a sounding board for your ideas. One of the greatest things that I've appreciated about having a mentor is that every time that I call him, every time that we talk or Skype or go online and do video chats, he's a constant encouragement for me. That in itself is worth more than its weight in gold. And the reason is, anytime that I'm feeling down, anytime that I'm feeling like life is oppressive and life is just beating me down, the work's just too hard, or there's this thing that seems insurmountable, and I need a sounding board, he is always there to encourage me, give me ideas. But I don't want to focus on the idea part of this. The biggest thing that he gives is encouragement. A mentor should be someone who gives you life, who gives you light, who gives you the boost of encouragement that you knew you needed, but only they, because they've spent so much time with you, know exactly which type of words to say, which type of ways to not say, which types of words to just be present and be an active listener, to be a sympathetic and empathetic and loving listener. Like a mature mentor knows when to shut up and to listen and when to say the right words. I can't tell you how many times my mentor has merely said just a couple words or a very short sentence, and it quelled the 5-7 minutes of a tirade that I went on about my issues. And you guys could probably hear me saying this, right, on the phone or on a Skype. I'm just like talking. Here's what's going on. And he's just listening, nodding his head, And then I'll say, well, what do you think? And he'll say one or two words or a short sentence, and I'll be like, you know what? That's exactly what I needed to hear. You see, great mentors are constantly encouraging, but they're not encouraging always in a rah-rah, you can do it type of way. They're encouraging it because they speak to your soul. They speak directly to your person. They speak to your heart. They know what's going on contextually, and they can say the right words that really have applicability to what's going on. They know the right words to pierce through the veil and help you see clearer. This type of sounding board of encouragement is, again, like I said, worth more than its weight in gold. The fourth thing that I wrote down is so powerful. I wrote down that a mentor is a trusted advisor that can tell us the boundaries and guardrails of life and work. Let me unpack this a little bit for you guys. Being a trusted advisor we have to sit on this idea of trust. I completely trust my mentor in every aspect. And the reason, don't miss this, guys, the reason that I am fully able to trust my mentor is because I see him and his life is completely congruent with what he says to me. Let's unpack this even more. What do I mean when I say that I see his life to be completely aligned, completely congruent to what he's telling me? He, as a mentor, and this is important, as a mentor, mentors should invite you into their lives so that they can show you that they're not merely just a mouthpiece telling you, the mainstream versions of encouragement, and the mainstream versions of solutions. No. Mentors allow you to see inside their life. See, my mentor has allowed me to see so much of his life, his family life, his relationship with his 2 daughters and his son, who are all out of college now and have careers, right? He's been able to, and I've been able to meet them in person. He's allowed me the opportunity to come over to his house, out where he lives, meet his wife, see how he manages his household. There is no more, I can bleed no more trust out of this guy. I have 110% trust that everything that he says is aligned to the lifestyle that he has chosen and the disciplines that he has chosen. There's no bullshit here with my mentor. He has allowed me in to see that he's more than just a mouthpiece. He's a man who models the advice that he gives me. This is so crucial. And from that trust, it allows him, and this is so powerful, it allows him to speak into my life and say terse shit, to say potentially hurtful shit, challenging shit, so that, and I can take it and say, you know what, you're not just being an asshole. I know that what you say is true because your life exudes, your life exemplifies that which you are telling me, and I can completely trust that what you're saying works, or at least the ideas that we're talking about have value and are valid because you have lived that life before me. One of the things that I love about having this trusted advisor literally at the ready at any time that I need is that he can always tell me the guardrails and the boundaries of what I'm doing and where not to go, what not to do. Help me reconsider these maybe emotional decisions as I'm frustrated on the phone, talking with him. I'm frustrated with him, frustrated about something in person, and I'm going through these situations that I'm dealing with my projects or my personal life or what have you. And he's so great at saying, hey, guardrails I'll never forget this. Guardrails are there for a reason. Right? When you're driving a mountain road, you got the guardrails. The goal is not to be as close to the guardrail as possible. And the whole metaphor here is be as close to the risk as possible. You don't need to be getting that close to the edge. but he helps me realize where creating boundaries and guardrails in life allow me to be able to work with freedom and ensure that I'm not getting too close to the risky things that could help me come back to negative behavior patterns. Like, I'll give you an example. I'll make it really clear. I have a tendency to go 1,000%. I have a tendency to run 1,000 miles per hour, and I think for any of you guys out there, it's probably wouldn't be too hard to imagine that this is true. And one of the problems with my hyper focus, the way that I operate, right? It's either on or it's either off, right? It's one of the problems is that I don't have boundaries. I don't have guardrails in my life that can ensure that my hyper focus, my going at 1,000 miles per hour, doesn't leave a wake of destruction behind me. And I could tell you stories, guys. I could tell you stories of how I have destroyed relationships, destroyed opportunities, ruined things that could be good, merely because I got my blinders on and I'm getting way too close to the boundaries. It would be ridiculously easy for me to break the habits, the good, life-giving habits that I have today by getting hyper-focused on a new project that has captivated my heart and captured my mind, right? And so if you put something in front of me where a new opportunity that makes absolute sense. The market dynamics make sense. The value makes sense. The product makes sense. The service makes sense. I know in my mind's eye that I can crush this particular project, do it with excellence, and make exceptional amounts of money. It is easy for me to blow away the guardrails, blow away the boundaries and say, I'm all in. Fuck everything else. Family, be damned. Friendships, be damned. Sleeping, be damned. Health, be damned. I want to do this. I'm going to crush it. And everyone else that I love is going to suffer around me because I get that hyper-focused. And so what great mentors do is remind you of those guardrails. They're a trusted advisor to tell you not only to help you make good decisions, but also to help you make not good decisions, or to make sure that you don't make bad decisions is what I'm trying to say. And so my mentor has done this with such ease, and maybe it's just because he's an old man, right? He's experienced. He knows how to. Well, let's put it this way: he has blown past his own boundaries. He has blown past his own guardrails, and he knows what the collateral damage of those decisions can be. And so a trusted advisor can help you understand, remind you of your boundaries and your guardrails so that you don't ruin your life, so that you don't go too far, so that you don't do something crazy, right? These are the type of people that you need around in life. You need these sounding boards. You need people to help you to see what you cannot and encourage you to continue with good discipline on the right projects, the right focus. Last but not least, this is one of my most exciting things, and this is something that I wrote this down last, and it makes a lot of sense for me to write it last, but this is something that is so powerful. Number 5 is that your mentor is a network expander, a connector, a network expander or connector. This is one of the things for me, especially, I particularly enjoy, and the reason is because my mentor has a vast network of individuals, of people that I could never touch. And whenever I have issues, whenever I have questions that my mentor can't fully answer or knows that someone can answer it better, he is willing to introduce me to those individuals that can give me a better perspective, better advice, more thoughtful conversation, more experience, more knowledge. They can see things that I can't see. And so what a great mentor does, man, it's so awesome, is you can leverage them, not in a bad way, but you can leverage them in a positive way to expand your network. Mentors will avail you their network. They will give it to you because they know that holding it close to their vest doesn't do them any good. Helping you it essentially helps them. Now, there's some risk involved, certainly, and I think it's important that we take note of this. Like, it is important to note that that when your mentor extends their network to you, it is an extension of trust. They're trusting that you're not going to fuck it up. They're trusting that when they give you that network connection and you call them or you email them, you connect with them, you're not going to make them look stupid. And here's the thing, the point that's so important here that we need to remember. They don't have to do that. They don't have to give you their network. They don't have to extend that to you. It's a risk to them, right? They're extending their relational equity, their relational network to you, and you could fuck it up. Now, so far, you would have to ask my mentor this, but so far I don't think I fucked it up. So far I think I've completely utilized the network connections that he's given me to my advantage. And I've grown, I've learned from these things. And so having a mentor allows you to extend your network, to expand your network into places that you never thought possible. And what's really exciting is often, now, I don't know about you guys in your lives, but often these network extensions, these new people that I meet through my mentor, not only become friends, but they become people who want to be in my corner as well. And so they're now supporting me, helping me, giving me the right encouragement to continue on, to not quit, and to crush it, and to focus and get my dreams done. Guys, I could spend 1,000 hours easily talking about all the stories that I have garnered and all the experiences that I've had with my mentor. I could spend 1,000 hours talking about it. But I'm going to tell you this, guys, get a mentor. Find a mentor. Find someone that you can pour into, someone that's older, 10 years, 20, make it 20 years older. They have stories. They love telling stories. They love helping out. And in many cases, a lot of them are thinking about legacy. How can they pour into the next generation? They've already got theirs. They've already achieved their millions, their successes, whatever, what have you, right? And so for them, they're in a different stage in life. They're thinking about legacy while you're on the come up. Let me review these guys. It is so important to find yourself a mentor. Remember, a mentor. Here's the number one thing. Getting a mentor is the fastest way to accelerate your progress in life, work, health. That pretty much covers it. What these mentors what these mentors give you is they provide you knowledge and experience that you don't have yet. They've walked before you. They've gone before you. They know the game. They can help you see what you cannot and help you understand the guardrails that they have blasted through to help you ensure that you don't do that. They can encourage you, right? They can be a sounding board to help you when times are tough. They're trusted advisors. They're willing to show you their life so that their life is congruent. Their life is aligned with what they're saying, that they're true, they're real. And last but not least, they can help you connect and expand your network beyond your wildest imaginations and connect you with people, because that's really what it's all about. Let's be honest. You can have 1,000 great ideas, but it's other people that you need and their insights, their expertise, their experience, their knowledge to help you grow and help you move that project to the next step. Get a mentor, guys. Find someone that you can pour into. Ask. Asking is always free. Ask. Say, hey, I'd love to meet up with you. Just an hour a month. That's actually how I started, kind of. An hour a month. Give me an hour a month. That's all I'm asking for. An hour a month. I know that you have what I need, and I see that you have achieved what I would like to achieve. Please, give me an hour a month. I just want to talk with you and learn from you, period. I promise you, this might be one of the best hours of investment per month that you will ever make for your life, your life's work, and your mental, spiritual, and physical health. Guys, mentors change lives. And one of the things that I have loved is being a mentor, especially in my 12 years of consulting. I mentored a lot of people and helped them move to the next level of consulting, help them move to the next level of being a better public speaker, a better writer, a better author, a better consultant, a better business person. Right? This has been an absolute joy for me, and I'd love to give back more. I love mentoring. It's almost, I could say, it's a passion of mine. And mostly because I'm just a utilitarian of it. I just use, I I'm passionate about it because I have such a successful and awesome mentor that, guys, think about your network. Think about the people that you know. Think about the individuals that are successful that have gone before you. And here's the question for today. When are you going to ask them to be your mentor? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Smash the like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend who might need a mentor. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and I'll see you later.